Hey guys, Greg here. Special edition of the Vinyl Rundown. Guess what we're talking about today? Not a vinyl record, but a wooden guitar. One of the rarest Telecasters you will ever see on the internet. In fact, I'm not aware of any other video on YouTube describing this particular guitar. This is what I would call a barn find. It was recently found at a garage sale, and it's made by Drifter. This guitar is probably 40-ish years old and came in the original case, and it was probably almost never played. So let me tell you a little bit about the guitar. But this case is kind of cool. It's kind of thin and not super strong, but it's one of the 1,000 guitars that has this, the original key on a string for the lock. Nobody ever uses these locks. If you're going to steal the guitar, you steal the whole thing. You don't need to unlock it. But look at that beautiful, beautiful yellow fur and the label, the price tag that it came with. This was found at a garage sale, and I had to buy it kind of over the phone, sight unseen. Wasn't there to check it out and see if it had any cracks or bad neck or anything. So we bid a little bit under the asking price, and finally went and picked it up and found it to be in really good shape. So what is this thing? This is again, Drifter is the brand, which most of you have never heard of. Let's get the focus going on this thing. Alright, that's focused. Drifter is a brand made by Conn, C-O-N-N. C.G. Conn was more famous for making things like saxophones and trumpets out of Chicago, Illinois area. But in the early 70s, every company was trying to jump on the rock and roll bandwagon. So they had a series of guitars made in Japan and later Korea. And as you know, if you've heard of the lawsuit guitars of Japan in the early 70s, these were considered pretty high quality. Let me get the cover. Hold on. We'll put on the bridge cover. Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, let me go over the features and cosmetics of this guitar. I guess I have to hold it up for you. So, cream colored, white pickguard, obviously. One unusual thing about it is the switch is white. Standard Stratocasters, the switch was black. How's the focus there? Alright, not bad. Let me show you the strange thing about this cover. The so-called Ashtray cover that original Fenders came with a long time ago. Oh boy. Sorry. I took this thing off. It was really hard to get off. It has these little tabs, these little teeth that fit into a slot. That's not how a normal Fender works. Normally a Fender Telecaster, you just apply a little pressure and the thing pops off. Well, this thing took me forever to figure out how to pop it off, because what you have to do is spread those cheeks, if you will, to get those tabs out of their slots. It was a real pain in the neck to get it off. You can see there's a little bit of rust under there. The person who owned this for probably the last 30-40 years lived by the beach for many of those years, so just a little bit of rust under there. It's not too bad. And then the bridge is very unique. It really looks very little like an original Fender bridge. It does have the 3 pieces instead of 6. Telecasters were known to have the 3 bridge pieces instead of 6 like a Stratocaster. But look what's in the back here. You see that? Those are the ends of the strings. Whereas a real Telecaster, the strings would go all the way through the body, and there'd be 6 holes here. No holes, solid body, nice and smooth. And to change the strings, you gotta go back here. Okay, how about the pickups? Kind of unusual pickups. I think they sound pretty good, and I'll play them for you in just a bit. But these pickups are totally smooth. There's no pull pieces shown, but they have a little bit of a curve to them. Kind of like the staggered pull pieces on some guitars. So you can't really see it, but there's a little bit of a a little bit of a convex shape on these pickups. This one is not adjustable. This one is adjustable with 3 screws, kind of like a standard Telecaster. Then we have the knobs are actually very smooth. For a guitar that's been in a case for 30 or 40 years, these knobs are very smooth. And then let's talk about the neck. Actually pretty high quality neck. I believe it to be maple, nice and smooth. No truss rod hole in the back. There's a weird truss rod cover plate up here, which is very big and kind of ugly compared to a standard Telecaster. I did pull that off and do a little bit of truss rod adjustment. Not that I'm a pro or anything, but I think I was able to add just a little bit of concave twist to the neck for better playability. The tuning pegs, these are sealed. They actually seem to be in pretty good quality because the thing was not too bad out of tune for not having been played in 30 years, but it holds the tuning pretty well. I've tuned it a couple of times and it's very rock solid tuning. One little minor complaint is the fit and finish. There's a bit of a gap here. In other words, you could stick a guitar pick right in this side between the neck and the body. There shouldn't be a gap there on a real high quality guitar. The back plate for 4-bolt, you can clearly see it says made in Japan. These were probably made in Korea later on, but the early ones were made in Japan. And then the fretboard, nice finish. It seems to be a very curvy radius, like a 9-inch radius probably, kind of like some of the early Strats. And you can't really feel the frets too bad. Some of the cheaper modern guitars, you can really feel the frets chop up your fingers along here because they extend out a little bit and they weren't sanded nicely. But this is nice and smooth. So you've got the dot inlays. You've got dot inlays on the side also. And quality, the spacing is kind of off. Not sure you can see that, but the spacing is not really very geometric, if you will. There's a little bit of extra glue up here on the nut that's, you know, quick manufacturing, not super high quality manufacturing, but overall this is probably a higher quality guitar than you'd get. Obviously, this is certainly higher quality than you'd get from a Chinese-made guitar today, and it's on par with an MIM made in Mexico Strat in many ways. What else? Okay, maybe it's time to listen to it and see what it sounds like. So my first impressions are that these pickups sound pretty good. They have pretty beefy tone. In fact, a little bit beefier and mid-ranger than you'd expect from a Strat, but kind of higher output than you get on some of the cheaper guitars. So to really test out a guitar, I'm going to play you the 3 different pickup positions, lead only, 2 together, and bass pickup, or neck pickup I should say, with some different levels of distortion. And this is going through a Fender Deluxe amp. Nothing, no effects, a little bit of reverb built into the amp. So let's start with the clean neck position. Did I say neck? Lead position. Telecaster country western kind of a person, but give you an idea of what the lead pickup sounds like. It's not as thin and tinny as a regular Telecaster in my opinion. Okay, these 2 together gives kind of a country twang. that's one of the nicest tones of this guitar, is the clean amp and these two pickups together. And the neck pickup by itself. Could actually try to play jazz on this thing. Okay, let's add a little bit of distortion. Position 1, medium distortion. Midway dirty on the amp, and then the lead pickup only. Not a bad growly little Telecaster-y, fender-y, dirty, greasy sound. Get the idea? Let's go to the middle position, two pickups. Not sure that's a real useful tone. It's alright. Neck pickup only. Back to the middle. Is that a real grunge sound? I don't know. Is that authentic grunge? Not really sure. Now I'm going to go full distortion. Still not too loud. These pickups are not really that noisy. Unless you have the amp turned up pretty loud. You don't really have much hum. That squeaking is the strap. Sorry. Leathery squeak on the strap. Okay, full distortion. That's a late pickup. Let's move to the middle position. And then the neck position. Alright guys, that's my review of the very rare Drifter Telecaster from the early 70s. I think this is about the only one you're going to see on YouTube. And lucky to find it at a garage sale, super cheap price. And I think that's it for today guys. Thanks for watching.